Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Many times we find that the political leadership of any country takes such a narrow view, a distorted view, a myopic view of things that they cannot look beyond their nose. And even when they are aware, just to garner cheap popularity, either locally or globally, they indulge into actions that are disasters for the country itself. They're aware of it. I would not say that when they take such decisions, they are not aware of the terrible results and the consequences that are going to be there. And when Justin Trudeau recently released the federal government's signature climate policy that aims to see Ottawa hike federal carbon tax to $170 per ton by the end of the decade, one is shocked. And the whole thing is to meet the Paris Accord targets. Now, there's no harm in meeting those targets, but one has to realize that those targets are not carved in stone. And secondly, whatever you might do, you are not going to make an impact on the global pollution and the global warming. A, global warming is something which is natural consequence, and all human activity contributes just 40% today. 60% is by natural causes, wetlands, trees, agriculture, dairy, and so on. So your actions are not going to make much impact as a global warming concern. Secondly, even if you come up to the level that you have promised, do you mean to say that the pollution being generated by the developing countries and the new countries which are developing, Mercosur countries and Latin America, coming up Africa, or even Middle East, that is going to let down its pollution? No. So burning Canadian citizens for some illusory benefit is at the best suicidal, at the worst murderous. Now, currently the carbon tax is $50 per ton. It will be there in 22. And then every is going to increase by $15 per ton, reaching $170 a ton in 2030. Now, pricing pollution is one of the key measures that Trudeau government could think of. And they want to surpass the commitment. They say, well, we want to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 30% below 2005 level. High hopes. That would ultimately mean sacrificing your dairy industry, your meat industry, and also destroying your natural resources of forests. So, according to them, this policy would be supporting sustainable farming practices. Sometimes I wonder that whom they're trying to fool. And they are justified because nobody objects to that. Some people do. Fraser's Institute came up with a report lambasting this as being a murderous attack on the economy of Canada. So the increase in carbon tax is expected to translate dramatically higher prices at the pumps. And you're going to pay about 37 cents per liter as the result of the new plan. The cost of your house light, your fuel, your oil, your heating, natural gas, propane, all are going to rise as well. And this ham-handed approach is being lauded, praised out of concern, except by a couple of excellent institutes like, as I said, Fraser Institute. Now come to that. Look at the losses. There'll be 0.8% reduction in employment. That means Canada would lose 184,000 jobs on a national level. Don't be shocked. This is going to happen. And this is going to happen because of the taxes. Now, how would they reduce? In British Columbia, the job loss will be 21,540. In Alberta, 30,140. In Saskatchewan, 1,300. Manitoba, 1,240. Ontario, 86,860. Quebec, 39,050. New Brunswick, 2,190. Nova Scotia, 990. PEI, 350. And Newfoundland, 910. So this is the projected job loss, and the total is 184,000. Are you shocked? Well, you should not be, because this is what the government is planning. And then look at it. Along with the job loss, they are going to have 1 million plus people every year. So 10 years, 10 million plus new people. Assume each family to be 5 members, so 50 million people added. Loss of the jobs there. So the fight in the job seekers would increase, leading to social tensions. Then this is not enough. The GDP, government itself says that it will have zero impact, but the independent studies conducted show that GDP, even when adjusted for inflation, the higher cost, would be reduced by 1.8% because of the tax rebates. So total loss to economy because of the decline in GDP would be $37.8 billion. 37.8. That is almost 1 billion per Canadian. Today the population of Canada is, I think, 37 million. Yes. So 37 billion. Pari passu make the comparison. Not only that, look at the declining GDP and the job losses. Federal and provincial revenues will also be negatively impacted. The federal government intends to continue rebating 90% of the carbon tax to the Canadian households, and the combined federal and the provincial deficits will increase by 22 billion every year. Every year, 22 billion would be added to the national debt. And is that all? No. Energy cost would go up. A higher tax means higher costs. The federal government maintains that the Canadians might find themselves better off. How? Because the heating would increase, so they will need more fuel. The gas prices would increase, more transportation costs, more public transportation costs. So even after taking into view the rebates and the potential cumulative effect, the purchasing power of ordinary households will fall. And the companies that pay higher carbon tax will add on to the cost of the product. It will be passed on to the consumer. So electricity, home heating, oil, natural gas, propane, all being subject to the carbon tax, they'll go up. And the total cost is likely to be 40% more than today. 40% more. But are you aware? You say they are crying all the time about the carbon emissions. But if we look at the Canadian carbon dioxide emissions, the pollutants, they are only 1.5% of the global total. 1.5%. And even if you make it zero, which is not going to happen, does it make any impact globally? No. As a matter of fact, this will, according to them, this will reduce the impact in Canada by 1/4. So instead of 1.5, reduce it by 1/4, 25%. So almost 1% will still remain. So total reduction might be 0.5%. That's all. So the global emissions are not going to be impacted at all. Why are we doing it? There's a question. By 22, when the tax would be $50, to 2030 when it would be $170, households on an average would pay $1,000 per year extra for the heating and electricity and the fuel. $1,000 extra means $100 a month. Then what will happen? All the factories producing, manufacturing in Canada will shift out of Canada. They'll go to those countries where the laws are not as stringent. Because every tax you have, every action you take, takes away from the profit. So here already the wages are high, the utilities are high, and you are adding tax. So most of the companies would like to make a way out. Go where the labor is cheap and qualified. Why not India? Why not Malaysia? Why not Vietnam? Then, when the companies go out, they might even go to USA. There's no carbon tax there. They might go to Mexico. Out of the three countries in North America, Canada is the only country having this carbon tax. Then, what is it? It is essentially a very thinly disguised money grab. The Prime Minister assures people that the carbon tax will be funneled back to the Canadian households. But look at what happened in British Columbia. That they say an example is the best thing. And in British Columbia, we had carbon tax, and government did not pass on 100% of it. Only about 49% was passed. Is that enough? No. And it would be, as I said earlier, very futile, useless, ineffectual in improving the environment. Producing only 6% and total impact being 1.5%. What are you thinking? What are you doing? So looking at it, as we find that there's going to be job losses, there's going to be decline in GDP, there are going to be higher deficits, there are going to be higher energy costs, and there's going to be still more unemployment which has not been calculated because of the industry moving out of Canada. Is this proposed tax desirable? As I call it, it's just a money grab. And it is going to have that deleterious impact, economic impact. I'm not talking about other facts. The economy is going to be absolutely ruined. And the credit for ruining the economy of the country shall go to Honorable Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, and his team, which has neither initiative nor imagination. And my regret is that when the idea was floated in the parliament, what the hell was the opposition doing? There have been muted protests by the conservatives. But NDP didn't say anything. But then, look at the reality. NDP today is a B team of the Liberal Party. And it is sustaining it. As a matter of fact, if you think nationally, The members of the Liberal Party should have revolted against Trudeau and told him that this sort of a thing is not acceptable. But they behave like dumb driven cattle, having full faith in the shepherd. I don't know what were the economists doing. I don't know why the bureaucrats did not guide them properly. I don't know why the scientists did not tell them that this is going to be of no use as far as the global warming is concerned. It's an exercise in futility. No, not in futility. It's an exercise to destroy the economy of the country and make it compete with countries like Nigeria, Niger, and so on. From G8, maybe Canada wants to be a part of G80. Just add zero. What difference does it make? The increase in the national debt every year is going to be a disaster. We are trying to delude ourselves. And these do good homilies and the preaching, as I said, are the rantings of unthinking political leaders who apparently, for all their protests of their patriotism and clarity of thought, are having very confused thinking, and the confusion was confounded by their careless approach, which is devoid of all sensible action. Would the Canadians wake up and tell Justin Trudeau and his team this is not acceptable? And they should make Conservatives and the NDP agree that they shall not be passed by the Parliament. And in case by some manipulation is passed, it should direct the Conservative government that they assure it victory provided they withdraw this bill. This bill is going to be one of the most disastrous acts ever passed. All taxes are bad. This is going to be country destroying piece of budgetary work. Are you thinking or not? Or are you prepared for the D-Day? Because that's not far off, just 1 decade more, whether we are there or not. But our generations are going to suffer because of these policies and these actions. Think about it. Thank you.